Okay, Donald, here's the rest of your order minus the Striker SRA-10 magnet mount. That's coming to you directly from supplier. So I already uploaded a tracking number on Friday, but I'm assuming it'll ship this week to you. I thought maybe it would ship Friday, but I kind of sent it to them late. You know, I think you placed the order like close to the later afternoon on Friday, which is fine. I just didn't have enough time to obviously get them to, maybe UPS already picked up or something. So anyhow, we'll get it sent out to you, the antenna, as soon as possible from them. But the rest of the stuff comes from me. So this is your mic. This is the P4 mic. It's got a new battery in it and everything, so you're good to go there. Here's your adapter for your mic jack. I'm going to put that in the box with the radio. That'll be, you'll find this where the stock mic and everything is. The same thing with your PC programming cable that you got for the QT60 Pro. I'll put all that in that compartment with the stock mic and all that stuff, so it'll fit in there. And this says AT6666, but it works on all the radios. So I have various cables, so some are, you know, they call them a cable for a certain radio, but there's no cable for each radio. They're all universal. So this is the one for this particular order that you're going to get. And a lot of them I have, say, KPO on them because it's for the DX5000 Plus, but they work on any radio that has that plug on the back. It'll work on. So last thing I gotta do is get your radio. Okay, here's your new radio, so take a quick photo of that. Alright, I'll get the covers off and I'll get it opened up for you. And remember, there's a little film protector on the face. That's not scratches on the face, that's scratches on the protector. And yep, we'll get this one ready and get everything squared away for tomorrow's shipment. Alright, so anybody's interested, that's what it looks like on the inside. Same as before, pretty much, just you know, shorter. So there you have it. Okay, so the frequency on this one's just a little high, so we'll fix that for you now. Let's see if I can change it. There we go. Oops, let's see. If that's the only other setting it's going to give me, then I would prefer the other way. So let's go back and take a look again. Whoop, 10.5 isn't what I want. 10. Now let's go back and take another look. It might be better. Yeah, that's what we want right there, so that's better. Close as it can be anyways, that's all we can ask for. So they don't let you make real fine adjustments, but the adjustment that we made is better. So what I'm going to do now is just check the modulation on FM. And this radio has the 2.5 and 4 setting, so what I do with these is make it 2.1, and essentially that gives you 4.1 range. So I'll kind of skip over this part, but I will do it. Alright, so we're looking at AM now. Again, on this radio, 8 watt is the maximum AM carrier, 50 watt is the maximum FM, 1 and 1 on each mode respectively for the low power side of the RF power control. So we need to put this in AM first. So this one, obviously, you know, we need to give it a little more modulation. It's kind of low right now. And these radios are kind of the same way, like I talked about with the 955. Maybe not as aggressive when you speak with your voice into the mic as the 955, but still a little more aggressive than others. And I think that's what makes these in the 555N2, whether it's the long or the short case on either model, a little more desirable for certain types of radio operators, radio users. Everybody has a preference on what they like. This is the high power side. It already looks pretty good. I mean, it's just a matter of how much you want to take it. Obviously, if you take it too far, then it defeats the purpose, but it they do well. So that's how that one looks. So, and then lastly, we'll look at sideband on this, and sideband is always the way it is. So I've done a lot of these kind of radios, so they're pretty, all of them really are pretty simple for me. But expand that a little bit more. There we go. That's better. So just want to make sure that it's a little more linear than how it come out of the factory. And this one has a pretty pronounced flattening on the waveform with the two tones there mixed. So let's go here and here. 13. These ones, it's about 17. About like that. And that's a big improvement though over where it was. So looking nice and round. And obviously the average power goes down quite a bit, so that's okay too, because it's peak envelope power is what we worry about on sideband. So like I said before, every radio is designed a little bit different. Certain manufacturers, I think what ends up happening is they have certain firmware revisions and things, maybe the way the firmware is written for their exact model of radio that is unique to them as a company. And I think that's what we see in a lot of these kind of radios, you know, the ones that are made for other companies especially. Each one has its own uniqueness from itself. They're all a little bit different. And then ones like these are pretty much like the house kind of radio, whether it's a Radio Oddity or a Anytone. That's kind of like the house radio that they do themselves, and with a lot of help from people that are willing and taking time out of their free time and stuff like that, because they flat out just care about the radio hobby and stuff, and they want it to be a really nice radio. Like I said before, I did mention some things to Stryker about the 955 HPC Plus that maybe I thought they could improve and do a little bit different, but that's not up to me, it's up to them, and they didn't ask me to do any testing or anything on the original. Whoever they sent the radios to for testing, I mean, they tested it, they work obviously, and they're strong, they're powerful. There's just some little subtle things maybe I'd like to see different, but again, that's the kind of testing that I would look at here on my equipment versus just what the basic guys would test for, modulation, power, that kind of stuff. I mean, I would just like to see, okay, what does it look like when we key the mic on the spectrum analyzer, like without any audio going into the mic circuit and stuff like that. And, you know, deviation would be another one I would expect it to, you know, do what this one does, and just a few things. That's all. I'm not trying to say it's a bad radio or anything. It's just, you know, maybe they'll do a update tool for that radio for a new firmware or something. I mean, the update tool would work regardless, I think. It's just obviously giving the firmware to update it. And I'm hoping that maybe that'll come out later or something, and they will update the firmware on that one and make a couple changes. But anyhow, we're not talking about that one anymore. We're focusing on this one. So this one's ready to go. Plug this mic in. So just keep in mind when you're using this cable, this is my cable, but you have the exact same one coming to you. You want to go into this menu and switch. Yeah, it's already there. So I'm going to actually switch it here because I'm going to use a factory mic that's 4-pin. But if you're going to use that KPO mic, just switch it back, and I'll probably just leave it there because I'm assuming you're going to use that mic instead of the one that comes with it. So if you want to use the one that comes with it, go back in and switch it to here, or else you won't get any sound out of the mic. That's the only thing I need to let you know. Okay, so again, the other companies and stuff do their own testing, so obviously I'm never included in that, and that's fine. If, you know, I don't think I'm anybody special or anything that I should be included. It's not like I demand to be included or anything. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's not my product, so radios like this, sometimes I am included on some of the testing and stuff, which is cool. If they want to include me, that's great. If they don't, well then, you know, that's fine too. But I do enjoy helping in any way that I can if I'm asked. So I think, did I leave that in dynamic? Yeah, I did. Jeez. All right, let's put it back. Okay. So again, 8 watts of carrier, and then when we speak into the mic here, almost 60. And this is a 60 watt radio, so it's doing exactly what it should. And then here's how it looks here. Let's say I need to probably bump that up some. That's a little bit better. So again, that's how it looks there. So it looks really good there. And we'll just kind of lower the power down on this one and kind of take a look at how it responds to my voice with the lower dead carrier. So that's all the way up. This is 12 o'clock. So about 4 watts. So you can see, I mean, again, this one would probably be a little more desired for the guy that likes AM a little bit more than SSB, and maybe just wants to dabble in SSB. There's nothing wrong with that if you're just getting started or something. I'm kind of the exact opposite, although lately I'm doing quite a bit more AM than ever, so I'm enjoying AM a whole lot too. I actually find there's a lot more respectable operators lately running AM because there's way more frequencies to be used on the AM part of the CB band, and so you're getting not as many goofballs all on a couple of frequencies like we get on the SSB part. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And here's all the way down. So all the way down it's about 1 watt, and then when I'm speaking, I don't think it's as drastic as the 955. Obviously it's hard to compare this one to that one because that one has the other board inside that really gives that radio that extra 40 extra watts of power, but you know, this one still does fairly decent from a low carrier. As far as that goes, it's not going up there like tons of big power numbers like the other one, but you know, this is still what I said before. It's, you know, the limitation is lacking a little bit here, and some guys probably would prefer this way over, you know, some of the other radios like QT40, Aries 2, Quad 6 Pro, QT80. They're very clean. Washington's very clean. I kind of like the cleaner setup myself, but that's just me. Okay, so now we're going to look at upper sideband. RF power is all the way up again, so that's perfect there. And again, there's nothing wrong with the sideband on these radios at all. They work fantastic. So if you're new to like sideband or something, these are great radios to use on sideband. They work perfect. So anything else that would be in the 10-meter market, let's say, that would be a competitor to this, that's not branded by like this or Anytone or one of the other companies that they make radios for, wouldn't stand a chance against one of these or anything that obviously is, you know, a step up, or like one of the other companies' radios or something. You know, there's like certain radios that most people would know what I'm saying that do SSB that aren't like part of this family or the family of companies that they make radios for. They just don't have a chance to compete with like this kind of sideband, because this factory has pretty much mastered the quality sideband in all these radios. So it's really an unfair advantage that they have, but it's great because for us as radio operators, we really get to truly enjoy a day where all that other stuff about worrying about this, about drift and all that's pretty much gone. So it is a miracle that, you know, they've came to this, but I'm really glad that they did, and it's made the radio so much more enjoyable for, I think, all of us that can just buy, just like, these are all kind of like an entry-level HF radios, what you could look at them as, or as some people will comment on YouTube and say, oh, it's just a junk CB. Well, no, it's not a CB technically, so you have to remember that too. It's an entry-level HF rig, and for a couple $100 or whatever these cost, you know, you're getting a lot of radio here. Plus these will do digital modes and Morse. This one does Morse code and stuff, so there's a lot more to it than before on the longer case version. So it's a big improvement, and there's no muting when you go to the full VFO either, which is really nice. So, you know, it's a really good day for radio. Here's 12 o'clock. 1 2 3 1 2 3, check check, hello, 1 2 1 2. So you can see it's pretty much limited it down some. And then all the way down is very low power, so you can still get out like this. If that's all you need, then just run that. You know, if you're talking to someone really close or something, however you want to go with it. So again, just remember that the VFO mode is accessible in the band button here. Right there's the VFO mode. I'm actually going to switch something for you in the VFO mode. I think I'm done transmitting, so I'll put that back to that. I don't think there's an adjustment for this in the software. If there is, I just didn't notice it, but I'll put that in 5K. Obviously it doesn't matter because you can just press the button and you can move through the frequencies of the radio relatively quickly. There's a little bit below 12 meter, but just to show you, the radio covers from here to here with no gaps. So just use the frequencies accordingly with your license, or you know, be aware of what you're doing if you're not going to use it on licensed bands, that kind of thing. So you know, it's totally up to the individual to make sure they're doing things on the up and up and stay out of trouble. So that's pretty much it. Let's just test it here, and I'm just curious to see here. So let's turn that power up all the way. It's up all the way. Oh, I gotta switch that mic thing back. There we go. So hello CQ, hello CQ, CQ. Yeah, that's good. So you know, it's one of these situations where, you know, you can buy this radio and you can most certainly talk out of the box with it, but the only difference is it's going to have a little bit of a negative impact on the rest of the guys on the frequencies, because it is kind of a little on the dirty side. So you have to obviously be aware of it. And you know, when you buy one of these new, for me, I don't even charge for this stuff anymore. I'm just kind of doing it because I don't know, it just became what it is. I'd rather just sell the products, and you know, if the guys that are pushing out the money to do it want to do it, that's fine if that's what they want to do. But I don't know, at this point I'd rather just do these videos from time to time for the customers, and you know, as long as I'm moving product, I'm happy, you know. And if I don't have to charge a bunch of extra money to do it, it really doesn't matter, because I just enjoy doing it. And that's what I've pretty much started doing. Now if you mail a radio to me or something, then obviously I have to charge you because I'm not supplying the radio. So just remember that on the website, you know, it pretty much says everything's included under each radio's description. But just something to be aware of. Again, every time I do one of these, when you're on sideband, you're not going to see much power here, so don't be alarmed by that. It's just part of the radio. And then when we go to AM, you'll see more power than you should. So I think I covered that on the last one that I just did yesterday for Jay. So that's pretty much it. If you want to go into your NOAA weather and stuff, you hit this and this, and then you know, you have your VFO option, which we're already in, so you can go anywhere you want from, I think, 174, 136 or something to 174 maybe. Yeah, I was right. So for the first time I actually remembered. And then if you don't want the VFO option, you can, this part I always screw up. Can you hold this? Oh, I don't remember this one a lot of times, and it's super easy too. I never remember this part, so I do apologize. I thought I was holding frequency. Yeah, hold frequency. And then you have your NOAA weather channels pre-programmed. And you can add more to this too. I think you can add your own. Yeah, like I got 146 520 in there. National Simplex. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll test the receiver really quick off camera. Obviously, if it's not good, you won't get this radio. If you get it, which is here, then you know it's good. So it's kind of a longer video, and that's it for me today. I just want to get your big orders all finished for you. So you ordered on Friday, it's shipping out on Monday. So anybody else that got theirs this weekend, probably it's going to ship out Wednesday or Thursday because I have to go back to work. So I'm not going to apologize for my work because that's what keeps the lights on here. It's not the radio stuff. But I just, I feel bad sometimes that I can't get the radios out sooner. So that's why right now on the website it's saying it can take up to 7 business days. So a lot of times it's faster than that. So just be aware of that. 73. Appreciate the order. Okay, Donald in North Carolina, I just wanted to show you the meter here that you bought. So this is actually your unit. I just like to test them and to make sure that they're working. That's something I'm going to start doing with these meters before I send them out. This is actually my meter here that I disconnected. We'll just set it on top. It's the same meter. This is a good meter for all frequencies, just as long as you stay within that 200 watt range. You don't want to put more than 200 watts into it or you'll essentially damage it and it won't work anymore. So looking at the back, we have type N for the 125 through 525 megahertz range, and that's where you have it V and UHF, VHF, UHF. That's that side. And I'm using a couple adapters to adapt the cables that I have to the type N because my cables are not type N terminated, but that's okay. You could always use the adapters. Just keep in mind with the adapters there's a little additional loss characteristic, so you may not see as much power as you may think you should see due to the connector loss. And higher frequencies usually means a little more loss. That's why they put type N, because obviously a type N generally has less loss than a PL259. So what we're going to do here is just demonstrate. There's a switch on the back, max and standard. Max will be for SSB. Well, this radio does do SSB. It is on an outside antenna. I will demonstrate that now. I highly doubt anybody will ever come back. I'm on a vertically polarized stacked 4-element beam, which is, up about 50 foot, I think, but it's non-rotatable, and I'm pointing in a northwest orientation. So as I speak, CQ, 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 calling 2 meter, calling 2 meter. This is November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra. November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra, calling 2 meters and listening. So we can see we're doing about 88 watts, this is a 100 watt transceiver. Generally speaking, on any 100 watt transceiver, on the HF quality, which this would be considered that kind of quality of a radio, it's just VHF, UHF only. You're never going to see the full 100 out, which is normal because we have ALC engaging and stuff like that. So it's going to keep the signal as clean as it possibly can by limiting the power slightly. So, what I'm seeing here is fairly good for what I like to see. CQ, 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 CQ. Kind of testing here too if anyone's listening. November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra. November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra. Testing and calling on 2 meter. Is anyone out there? And nobody ever comes back, so there's that. Let's go to FM. You can switch the max circuit off. It wouldn't hurt it if you left it on, just it's unnecessary. So we will look at our power still 100%. CQ, CQ, November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra, testing on 2 meter, testing, CQ, CQ. So obviously here we're seeing closer to that 100 mark, which is normal for FM. Can go to AM on this radio too. I don't know why we'd ever want to use AM on 2 meter, but it does do it. I don't want AM digital. Maybe that's all it gives me. I've never used AM on here, so I don't even know what it actually will do, but we can try it. About 25 watt carriers, what these radios will do. November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra, testing. I don't know what it's going to do with the max circuit on, but we'll try it. November 8, Mike, Japan, Sierra, testing. It's doing something else like for digital modes, so it's not letting me modulate at all. That I'm not sure. I've never actually tried to use it on AM, so maybe it's due to the frequency or something. No, that's not the case. So yeah, I'd have to probably reference the manual on this side of it to fully understand why it's saying AM-D. But nonetheless, what's this? Oh, there we go. Okay, out of AM-D. Okay, so now we'll try it again. Let me go back down to that lower portion. Not going to hurt anybody down there. CQ, CQ, CQ 2 meter, CQ, CQ, CQ 2 meter. This is November 8. Mike, Juliet, Sierra. We're testing and calling on AM at 144.192 megahertz, CQ, CQ 2 meter. And nobody will come back, I'm sure of that. So generally speaking, we don't see a lot of power out of like an HF kind of radio on AM, so that's kind of normal. And that's the same way this radio is designed. So it's not HF, but it still has a lot of those same properties. If you had an IC 7300, it probably wouldn't do more than what we're seeing here on AM, unless it had some type of weird modification or something like that done to it. So it does work well for what it is. Just remember that if you go to the HF side, it does engage the other two jacks on the back, which are here on the right. And that will be for your anything from 1.6 to 60 megahertz. So pretty much 160 meter up to 6 meters. So it's got quite a wide coverage, and I think they look good. When you first power it on, it's going to say like 503, like that. So that's normal for that to do that. And then just realize that depending on where the switch is, that's the range that you're in, either HF or VHF, UHF. But it's a nice meter, and they sure do look good on the bench and stuff, or sitting on top of a radio like I have mine. So I'm going to put yours back in the box. I just wanted to show it. You got the last one, so I don't have any more. I'll probably get some more of these in the spring, as well as the 103, which is the 1200 watt version of this that only does HF. So I'll do another video when I get your radio ready, but I just wanted to show you your meter. 73.